G'day, it's LindsayWaddington. G'day, it's LindsayWaddington here. Today we've got a really good friend of mine, and he's one of Australia's most iconic people, and he's a legend, I can tell you. It's great to have him here today, Mr. John Williamson.
Yay. Thank you.
There you go, mate. Feel good?
I love the applaud.
I love it. We're going to do some questions, so you worried?
Yes.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, mate. You know me.
Yeah.
Serious.
That's the trouble.
Rightio, here we go. First question. What was your first job?
Delivering the Quamatuk Times.
Really?
15 shillings.
Really?
And then melting the lead down afterwards, because it was all done with lead those days.
That would have been interesting.
They had to make all the letters again every day, so that was the only job really that I probably, before performing, that I ever had really. I was always a partner in the farm or working for my dad,
Ever wish you stayed doing it?
Delivering Quamatuk Times. Yeah, well, I think Quamatuk Times went broke, so that was the end of that job, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, but I did skin some rabbits and make some money that way. Halfpenny a piece, because there wasn't much in it, but anyway.
How much?
Halfpenny.
Oh, really?
Halfpenny each, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they were doing me a favour.
I love it. Probably heard that in a few songs too.
Never mentioned it before.
Haven't you?
No. Exclusive to Waddo.
Oh, yes. Yes. What was the last thing you Googled?
The last thing I Googled was probably to get to the bloke who was repairing my coffee machine.
Fair to you.
Google mate, and the coffee machine doesn't work still.
Do you want to give him a shout out?
Yeah. Yeah. I said, I've had this machine for 20 years, and they said, congratulations. They're Italians. So I was happy. I should have been happy that it went for 20 years. Then I got it repaired, so-called, and it still doesn't work very well.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
What?
That's very boring trivia.
No,
What were you expecting me to Google? You mean Googling what?
Well,
what kind of thing? You weren't expecting me to say a map, were you?
Well, you know the sort of stuff I Google because I send it through to you.
Oh, Google Photos, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Googling photos all the time, just so I can improve them.
Yeah. Oh,
and then put snide remarks with them.
Yeah, they're actually quite clever.
Yeah.
What was your favourite place you have ever travelled to?
God, that's a hard question. I have to say, when I first came up to the mountains, before I bought my little block up there, that was incredible. It became my favourite place for ages. But we'd go to Fiji all the time, so we must like it because we've been 6 times the same island.
Yeah.
Tokariki. Yeah, and I love the Amalfi Coast. Everyone's been there, I know. But
yeah, it's good.
I love Italy. We're going to go to Croatia next, so that might be my favourite next.
Oh, you Croatia, do you?
Next.
Are you a sports fan?
Oh, I definitely am a sports fan, yes.
Favourite sport?
Oh, no, I haven't got a... Well, actually now I think I enjoy rugby league more than anything else.
Yeah.
Apart from Aussies winning gold medals, but that's only every 4 years. But, yeah, I love rugby league. I think it's... I reckon the players with rugby league, and the state of origin, how tough
Queensland,
is that?
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a Blues fan. I'm a Blues fan.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah. And a Broncos fan.
Confusion right
Yeah,
there.
there we go.
Okay, so New South Wales in the state of origin?
Yeah, Broncos in the comp, and Essendon in Victoria, AFL.
Yeah.
So I've got them all covered.
I was Hawthorn until the Brisbane Lions. Then I changed over. Turncoat.
Typical Queenslander, really.
How's that?
No loyalty at all. What happened to Hawthorn?
Well, Lee Matthews left and come to the Lions. So
Oh, I see. You followed the coach.
Yeah. I
Right.
thought I'd just stick with that.
I didn't go to Dolphins with Wayne Bennett.
Oh, well,
So I'm very loyal. I'm not like you.
I might have to change. He's going to South Sydney. See, I'm a Wayne Bennett fan.
Yeah, well, South Sydney needs something at the moment.
I reckon the super coach is
What
going to
happened
do
to
it.
them? Yeah. The Broncos need something too. They wouldn't need to win a game.
2 points will help. What was the first concert you ever went to as a non-musician?
It would have been the Deaf and Dumb concert, they used to call it. No, that's what they used to call. They were a charity group that used to go. There was also the blind concert they used to call. That was before it was not kosher to say that, but they were in Victoria. They used to travel around the bush, and they were all probably has been vaudevillians.
Yeah.
I'll talk about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they influenced me to be an entertainer, actually, because they had comedians, they had
Oh, wow.
yeah, acrobats and everything, blokes piling chairs on top of one another and doing a handstand on the top and all that stuff. Yeah, comedians doing silly dances, and I used to love it, yeah. It was the Deaf and Dumb concert, that's what it was called.
Oh, wow. If you were an animal, which animal would you be?
Yeah, I'd be a wedge-tailed eagle. Yeah. Either that or a kookaburra. They're both top of the pile, basically.
Yeah. Well, you've got the kookaburra sound down.
Yeah.
You got one there?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You can't do a kookaburra?
No. No.
This one here is really hard because everything about you is this. What's the most Aussie thing about you?
Oh, the fact of being brought up as a farmer's son, I think, in the bush. That's made me Aussie.
Yep.
And it's not put on or anything because my brother sounds just like me. One of them does anyway.
Yeah.
So it's I've got a Mallee accent.
It's great. And
It's been brought up in a little Quambatuk, beautiful little town where you could leave your doors open.
I reckon they
In the
should
old
have
days.
Mallee Way. What do you reckon? Mallee Boy Way.
Yeah, Mallee Boy Way, yeah.
That'd be
There
fantastic.
should be one outside Quamby.
I reckon that'd be excellent. I reckon we'll have to work on that. Is John Williamson a dog or a cat person?
Definitely a dog person.
Yeah?
Yeah. In fact, I'm tempted to have a 410 if there's any cats come near the house. But lucky for them, I haven't got a 410. But I've got lots of stones in the Shanghai. Not into cats because they kill birds.
I was going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
You being a
I
kookaburra.
know,
you
the new
would
cat lovers, the cat lovers say, we put a bell around their neck. Yeah, well, bloody cats with bells around their neck will get shot as well. I don't really hate cats. I just want to shoot them, that's all.
So you don't mind seeing them come onto the property. What's your favourite charity?
Well, I don't have a favourite charity. I'm patron of Bush Heritage Fund, which is buying up land to let the bush go back to what it was way back. And also, Meg and I do the bash every year. Charity for special kids, we're devoted to that.
Good on you, mate.
But they're not the only things, but they're the main ones.
What was the first CD you ever purchased or record?
You'd have to say record.
Oh,
CDs.
yeah, I was trying not to give too much away.
Well, I know the answer to the first 45 was Jailhouse Rock by Elvis Presley.
Was it really?
My word.
I can see the resemblance when you're performing.
Ah, really?
You get those legs going and you don't...
That's bullshit. Nothing like Elvis.
Oh, when you get those legs, you're right into it, mate.
I just couldn't believe that Elvis Presley stuff. But I had a record before that called How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? That would have been a 78. Before LPs, before singles, they had 78s.
Yeah.
Which are the old hard, Slim had old 78 records.
Yeah.
And how much is that doggy in the window? I think it's Paddy Page. You remember, you old farts listening here? You'll remember that one.
Do you have any phobias?
Phobias? Not really. I hate rats, but I'm not phobistic about it.
Oh, geez, that's a big word.
No, it's not. That's what I just made up.
I was going to think phobistic.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it, though. I will be using
It's
that.
all yours, mate.
Phobistic.
What is the word? What is the noun for that? I have a phobia about the voice that's on Channel 9 all the time says, Channel 9, we're watching the Olympics on Channel 9. And every time I take them off, Meg goes crook. Because I hate it.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, probably to fly like an eagle.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't it?
Aren't they amazing how they can fly around in air like they're in the ocean?
Not scared of
like
heights.
fish. On my cliff, I just watch them go past. Because air is actually solid, they're just swimming through the air like fish. I think I'll come back as a bird.
Geez, I hope I don't come back as a cat.
Yeah.
That would be a very sad...
He will be. If I'm an eagle, you're in trouble. I'll just have to be careful of that bastard with the 14 on the cliff.
What's your favourite colour?
Blue-green.
Blue-green.
Yeah, it's kind of what the gum leaves are. They got blue and green in them, you know, and grey, blue-green, grey. It's the Aussie. That's what I call TrueBlue.
Blue-green.
It's blue-green, yeah.
Blue-green.
It's not lush green like the English and the Americans have got, the Northern Hemisphere. It's all bluey green.
Is this in the same dictionary as phobistic?
Yeah, okay. I've got blue-greenia.
Blue.
Yeah, I think that's my favourite colour. But I like strong ochre like you've got on the wall here, the red ochre.
Yep.
That's the Aussie colour. That's the Aussie colour.
Yeah, that's what we did that.
Should be on our flag, that colour.
Can you do an impression of anyone?
Yeah?
Who?
Donald Duck.
Go. Donald Duck. Oh, what? How good is that? Oh, that has blown me away. That's fantastic.
You didn't like a duck's breath or something?
Oh, gee. I thought you might have done Willie or something like that.
Oh, no. I'm better at Donald Duck.
You are. That's very good. Duck.
That's all I can say.
It's good enough for me.
You can't understand Donald Duck anyway. It asked me to say something.
G'day, Jono. How are you going today? G'day, Waddo. How are you? Oh, we'll try it again. What's the PIN number to your credit card? Are you a morning person?
No, not really.
Not?
No. What entertainer is a morning person?
Yeah, well, true.
1 o'clock in the morning while I'm still up.
Yeah.
That kind of morning person.
Yeah. What's an average day for John Williamson in a perfect day?
12 hours. That's an average day.
That's a great answer.
I haven't got an average day. I think that's we're in a business where we're all over the place.
Yeah.
But an average day on the road, well, I'll get up, probably have a late breakfast on the road. We'd probably get away by 9, have a late breakfast about 11 o'clock so I don't have lunch. And then I'll get to the next motel, have a sleep between 2 and 4. That's very important because I do a long show. And then have a sound check at 5 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll find some terrible restaurant somewhere near the theatre. Yeah. Probably Thai. We'll always find a Thai somewhere. And that's it. And then it's the show.
There you go.
And then I have a beer afterwards.
Ah.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want to catch up with Jono, find out where he's playing and look for a Thai restaurant right next door.
That's it.
That got you in trouble.
Thanks, Waddo.
No worries, buddy. Hey? What's one of your guilty pleasures?
My guilty pleasures? I don't feel guilty about any of them. I drive probably too fast when I'm in my little 86. Toyota 86. It's very tempting to drive fast.
Would be.
That's a nice, easy one, wasn't it? I got out of that one.
Yeah, you did. What is your favourite food?
Well, I was asked the question years ago on a radio station. I said, if you were stuck on an island and you're only allowed to eat one kind of meal, what would you have? Now, you could be silly and say, I'd like steak a la something or other or spaghetti bolognese or something, but that'd probably give you the shits after a while. So I said I'd have a wholemeal bread with cold mutton and beetroot sandwich. If I had to eat it every day, that's what I would have. Yeah. I would never get sick of it.
And then if you do get the shits out of that, you can just do without the bread.
Yeah, well, I wasn't talking about getting the runs. I was talking about getting annoyed with it.
Oh, okay.
See? It's just the way you think. I haven't had a beetroot and mutton sandwich for 20 years, but I still think if that's all I could have.
Do you have any weird combinations, like with food where people go, really, you're going to have that?
My common snack is grain bread. I should have gluten-free.
Yeah.
But I have grain bread. It's probably Harvest Grains. You know that one?
Yeah.
Beautiful bread. I don't have dairy butter. I have, olive butter. And then I'll have Mighty Mite, which is better than Vegemite.
Yep.
They're my sponsors, one of my sponsors, 3 3s for the bash car. And then I have avocado. Then I put little sliced tomatoes on top of that, and each piece of tomato's got my chili on it. That's a nice snack.
Yeah, that's a
Got a bit of
combination.
everything.
Yep, I wouldn't say it's weird.
Well, I think that's why I've still got hair.
Do you have a hidden talent or any party tricks?
Well, I'm the sort of person that doesn't hide my talents.
Oh, yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
And no party
Well,
tricks?
everyone knows I paint, draw, and play guitar. And a hidden talent. I'm a bit of a stonemason. I like making around with rocks.
Yep.
Rock walls, dry stone walls.
Have you ever hurt
It's not
yourself?
that hidden, though, because every bastard can see the walls.
Have you ever hurt yourself?
Yeah. We all know the answer to that, don't we?
What do you enjoy most about being a musician or an artist?
Creating something new is a lot of fun, well, like we do here.
Yep.
But the other thing is making people happy.
Yeah.
That's the hardest drug to kick is stop entertaining, you stop making people happy.
Yeah.
And that's the job of an entertainer, I reckon.
And we'll give one of your new songs a plug, and that's why, Beautiful Words is a song.
Beautiful words. Yeah, it's all about the pleasure I get from people, the things they say to me on the street, etc., and their emails. Yeah, it's a great job to be in.
It's already touched on this one, but if you were stranded on a deserted island, what 3 things would you want with you?
My woman.
I was worried you weren't going to say that.
Oh, yeah, I thought that's got to be first.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'll be shot with that 1080. The second one, I guess, has to be the guitar and a wholemeal bread with the
Endless supply.
the beetroot and mutton sandwich. Paradise.
If you could spend the day as anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I could say Willie Nelson, but I'm more inclined to say Marilyn Monroe or something like that.
Yeah, I suppose you could pick her. her.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody else?
Can't think of no.
Nobody else?
Nobody else.
Move on.
Do you ever get to what you want with that question?
Well, some people weaken. Before going on stage, do you have any superstitions, rituals, or good luck charms?
No, I don't believe in rituals. I think then if something goes wrong, you blame the ritual. No, I don't. No, main thing is to make sure the guitar's in tune. And I usually go over the first thing I'm going to say just to make sure my head's in gear.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm going to say was whether it's lovely to be here or whatever,
Yep. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else, and do you have a celebrity lookalike?
No.
No?
No, I can't think of anybody.
I've been with you where people go, is that John Williamson over there?
Yeah.
You do get mistaken for him, and I've had you say, yeah, I get that a bit, mate.
There was a hardware store in Hudson's with a H, and I was lining up to pay my bill at Hudson's with a H, and this bloke said, have you any idea that you look like John Williamson? I said, mate, it gives me the shits. People say it all the time. And he said, I know how you feel, mate. Everyone reckons I look like Clark Gable. And he looked nothing like Clark Gable. I said, mate, I look more like John Williamson than you do Clark Gable. He still didn't get it. Another one, I was in Townsville, and the bloke, I was getting a coffee, and the bloke said, I said, oh, you come from New South Wales, don't you? I said, what do you mean I come from? He said, because you got a southern accent. I said, well, that's bullshit because I came from Victoria. He said, well, no wonder you sound like John Williamson.
Oh, really?
He had me along all the time. He was pulling my leg.
What's something you loved as a child?
Micro models. The little cars about this big.
All right.
They cost $2 bob to buy. And that's about what I got for an allowance every week.
And you go and buy a car?
I went and buy a little FJ Hold. That's why I've got real ones now, because I had little ones this big. I had a little FJ Ute and a little FJ car. And micro models. A lot of people got dinky toys, but I thought micro models are better than dinky toys.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah. I've got a few in my shed.
That'd be worth a fortune now.
Were they?
Oh, they'd have to be.
Oh.
Where do you leave them?
Well, I drive them around at times. Which ones you talking about?
Obviously the little ones.
Yeah. I got trained mice just to keep them running.
What accent do you find sexy?
I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
What accent? The obvious one is French, but I've never really taken out a French girl.
No. But do
what
you...
accent do you find? I'm not going to say T-bone steak or anything.
Not Irish or anything? Scottish?
Yeah, the Irish probably would be nice. Yeah,
Irish.
But I've never taken out anything other than an Aussie girl, so I've not really experienced a sexy accent.
What's something that you're really bad at?
Accounting. Yeah, business. I'm not really good at business. I hate it. I hate worrying about money.
Yeah.
I'm not real tidy. That's what you're getting at. Not real tidy. But with the wife that I've got, you have to be super tidy. Absolutely super tidy, yeah.
See, that's what the problem is with mine.
Yeah.
Her standards are way too high.
Yeah, way too high. I should have a hearth brush and shovel tied to my belt the whole time.
I like it.
Yeah, stop her following me around with the broom.
What's your favourite musical instrument?
A Maton guitar, my stage one.
That is a beauty. That's a ripper, that guitar.
Yeah.
How long you had that for, John?
Since 91 or something.
91. God, look at the shows that would have done.
Yeah. Yeah, if I could speak, eh?
Whew.
You could have an accord with it. No, that's not funny. Accordion to my heart.
What's something you couldn't live without?
Look, I'm not going to say the obvious. Waddo, I'm not going to say that obvious. Meg, I couldn't live without Meg.
No, you couldn't.
Maybe for a week, but that's about all.
You're lucky. I could live half a day without Regan. I wouldn't know what to get.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite that useless.
Oof. If it wasn't a musical career, what would you be doing today?
Probably still growing wheat.
Did you really like that?
Yeah, it's a good lifestyle. The farmers, it's actually set me up. You never get disappointed in showbiz like you do growing wheat, because you can have work 12 hours a day all year, and you would have been better off you'd done nothing. Sometimes.
Yeah.
When a drought or a flood or fire or whatever, it's a big risky game. But I love the lifestyle. I love the smell of soil and turning it over and watching the wheat grow, and just the general lifestyle of being in the bush. I love it. And that's why I love being in the mountains, the Gold Coast.
Any of the family still on the farm?
Brother Pete's still on the land. He's a good farmer. But I was hopeless mechanic. That was the trouble. I'm not good with. You got to be a mechanic as well as a farmer. Bores the shit out of me.
What's your favourite venue or festival you've played at? If you had one more stage to play on, which one would it be?
Oh, my shed, I suppose.
Yeah.
That'd be my last hurrah.
Yep.
Or last card Louis or whatever you call it.
Yep.
Festival. Well, the Big Red Bash is a lot of fun.
Yep.
But they're all pretty hectic festivals, getting on stage and hoping the sound's going to be all right.
Yeah. I'd go with Willow Shed. Willow Shed's it's an amazing venue, mate. It's a credit to you.
It gives the people a lot more than just my music, of course.
And obviously they get a chance to, it's an intimate thing where anybody who goes there gets to, you nearly reach out and touch you on the knees.
Yeah.
It's a great venue.
Yeah, I hate that when they touch me on the knees.
I couldn't think of anything else. Could have said head, shoulders, bloody knees. On a day off, would you rather read a book or watch a movie?
Watch a movie.
What would be your favourite movie?
Oh, God. Oh, I could watch HUD again. Paul Newman.
Oh, yeah.
It's a black and white movie, but there's something about that.
Yeah.
You love it. Have you ever seen HUD?
No, I haven't, but I've heard about it.
You've missed out on something.
We'll go and check that out.
HUD.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's outback Texas. There's just all the actors in it are great. And it's just the attitude of Paul Newman in the whole movie. It's fantastic.
What's your favourite drink?
My favourite drink would have to be a 10-year-old Turkey Flat Shiraz.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Everything else you've had to think about, and that one just comes straight out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have that every day because it costs a lot of money. If I was only allowed to have one drink a day, that'd be a beer, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Shiraz.
maybe not. bit of Shiraz, yeah.
Oh, wow.
An old Shiraz.
Yeah.
Good quality old Shiraz, yeah. I'm going to have one when I get home after all this bullshit.
What's your favourite moment of your career?
Probably Mally Boy selling like mad, going triple platinum, whatever, you know.
Yeah, wow.
Because before that, I wasn't selling a huge amount of albums, but Mally Boy, all of a sudden, I had arrived 16 years after OldManEmu.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And I got 2 gold guitars that year. But yeah, just that was it.
How many golden guitars you got now, JW?
27, I think.
27.
Yeah.
28 next year.
I don't know. They don't give them the whole farts anymore.
We'll have to do your makeup.
But awards aren't that. A big award is when you sell albums, because that means the punters are the ones that have voted
and love what you're doing.
They've spent money going into, so that's the vote.
Yeah,
and putting bums on seats, which I still do.
Which you do, absolutely, you do. What's the most unusual item you've ever used on a song?
Well, I suppose the Jaws harps is the obvious one. No one else plays one.
No.
Bloke rang me one day. There was an advertising guy and said, I hear you play jaw harp. I said, mate, I'm the best jaw harp player in Australia. And I could hear his jaw drop thinking, I've got a wanker on the end of this phone. and I figured nobody else plays one anyway.
You can play.
I was pretty safe.
Ever hit yourself in the teeth?
Oh, yeah, when I was learning. But I've been playing them since I was a kid, because my uncle, who played fiddle, used to have one around his neck, and every now and then he'd stop playing the fiddle and play but he didn't play as well as I do.
In any of your songs, have you used an unusual, like a...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
My most unusual instrument was shoving a shovel into a bucket of sand.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Just go,
yeah. And it was during The Drover's Boy, you know, the Ted Egan song?
Yeah.
It was trying to give the sound of someone digging a grave.
Wow.
Yeah. That's probably the most unusual.
Yeah, that's actually really good. And what?
I'm amazed I thought of that.
Do you remember what album you've got that on? Warrigal.
I think so. Drover's Boy. I've used plenty of weird sounds, though.
You have. Who is the most famous contact you have in your phone?
I used to have the Prime Minister on my phone, but he got sacked. I could ring Brian Brown anytime I like. He's famous enough.
My word. Jeez. It's quite
He
good.
rings me too, the bastard.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Hi, ex-Prime Minister.
Which one was it?
No, I'm not telling you.
Go through his phone.
Probably wonder why the hell I wanted his number.
Is there an instrument you wished you'd learnt to play?
I tried to learn piano and I was hopeless. I hated it, but I wished I could play it. But they're buggers of things to carry around.
They are.
Yeah, and hang around your neck. Anyway, no, I'm happy that I can play harmonica and guitar, ukulele. That's enough.
Drums now?
Oh, fart around with drums, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a drummer, really. Oh, I suppose I play drums on stage with my feet.
Yeah. No, I'd say yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, what was the first instrument you learned to play?
Harmonica, I think. Was
it really?
Yeah. Taught myself.
Yeah?
Just lying back in bed and worked it out. I went from ukulele to guitar when I was 12. Huh. And that was because my cousin started playing electric guitar, and I thought, I'll play the rhythm behind you. And I bought this guitar, which had a cowboy sticker on the front. I think it was worth 12 bob or something. And thankfully, on the way back from boarding school, I was with an old bloke, terrible bloody driver, and someone ran up his ass, broke the guitar in the boot. It was the best thing that ever happened, because then I got a decent guitar after that. I got a Maton classical guitar. I was into folk music, so I had a classical nylon string guitar. That was my first real guitar.
What brought on the Jaws harp? Was it for Emu, or no, you played it before then?
Oh, because Rolf Harris, and I've got to mention it because he did inspire me because of his Time of Kangaroo Down, and he had the gimmick with the wobble board. And I thought, well, this is a funny song that I've written, first song I ever wrote. I need a gimmick, and I already had the jaw harp, so I thought that's ideal. But I made it sound like a didgeridoo, really.
Yeah.
So it's the way I breathe through it. It gives us that didgeridoo sound. I was in Russia. I went to a market, and apparently the Jaws harp originates from Mongolia. And I saw a documentary one day and I saw this bloke out in the middle of a paddock, a Mongolian, and he started playing it and all the horses came up.
Really?
And he jumped on one and rode off. And I thought, well, there we go. The Jaws harp for calling up horses. So when I was in Russia, I went to this little markets and here was a bloke flogging jaw harps. They're called jaw harps. They've been nicknamed Jews harps.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a jaw harp because it's played in the jaw. And I grabbed one, a bronze one. It's the one I use on stage now. And I flogged it, And they all came around from everywhere. They never heard anyone play like that. Yeah. And he charged me for the bloody thing. He sold about 10. Well, they all come, I'll have one of those. He still charged me.
Oh, jeez.
That's the one I play on stage. It's really loud. It's only a little one, but it's loud.
It's a beauty.
Yeah, bronze. Yeah. Or brass, I don't know. But so that's the story of the jaw harp.
What's your most used app?
Oh, I use photo apps a lot.
Yep.
That's markup. You know that markup thing? I don't know. It's an app. It's the thing you can push above the photos if you want to edit.
Yeah.
For improving photos and drawing things on them and all that.
And who's that artist lives up there near you that uses it all the time? What's his name?
Yobi Ellum.
Yeah.
That's Mallee Boy backwards.
Yeah. What's the best advice given to you?
The only way you can start at the top is to dig a hole. I reckon that's a good one. Because you think about it, there's no other way you can start at the top.
No, there's not.
So, in other words, start from the bottom. Honestly, I've been given plenty, I'm sure, like piss off and go away and all that sort of stuff.
Your guitar doesn't fit.
I'm sure I've had some, and I can't off the top of my head.
Well, what's the best advice you could give someone else?
Well, in our industry, just be yourself.
Yep.
No one's ever made it big without being themselves. You name it, you want to name Elvis, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, they're the ones that come to mind straight away, Slim Dusty, they're all who they were.
Yep.
Originals. That's how you make it, because people only want originals, they don't want copies.
Yep. Have
confidence in your own thoughts.
Well, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, John.
Thank you, mate. Oh, sorry.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
We'll do it again sometime.
I couldn't answer all the questions.
You got them all except for one.
Can I come back tomorrow and answer those?
You
I'll go away and make some answers up.
9 o'clock. I'm going to put that question in the podcast that'll come out later on.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to put that so you've got a little while to think about it.
I can't remember what it was.
Me either, but I'll go fossicking through them.
Good advice. That was the one. I've got plenty to give, but I can't think of anything given to me.
John Williamson, next year we'll be celebrating 55 years. 55 years. You're going to have merch out, big concert. There'll be shows all around Australia. Keep an eye out and help John celebrate his 55 years of making Australian history and painting us postcards of Australia through his song. Good on you, mate.
Thank you, Waddo. Yeah, and turn up when we get to the shows and the Waddo shows too. He's a bloody good player himself, and he's a funny smart ass as well, I tell you.
Thanks, mate.
Anytime.